Hello and welcome to this episode of Bullet Points. We're here today with our resident gun nerd, Gino.
How's it going, guys?
And we're here to talk about the new Northtac Ronin F12. And it is a red dot sight that will work on anything that will accept it. It's an RMR plate that will work on pistols, ARs, rifles, shotguns, even muzzle loaders if you have the rail.
Airsoft guns.
Airsoft guns.
Nerf guns.
Yep. All of the guns that have the compatible rails. So we got a lot of bullet points. We're not going to number them this time because there's too many to keep track of.
Can't count that high either.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Gino struggles with getting into the double digits, so gets confused.
9 mil.
Yeah.
That's high. I don't even know what a 10 mil does.
No. All right. So this is a 1x27 millimeter red dot, and you had a really good explanation describing that. So if you wouldn't mind giving an explanation of what the 1x27 millimeter.
Yeah. So your window is going to be 27 millimeters, and that's your area of the actual window that you're looking through. So on some different optics, like a Trijicon RMR or your Leopold Delta Point Pro or anything like the Holosun 507s or 407s, those are kind of the staple of what people are looking for. So a 27 millimeter window means you're going to be larger than the Trijicon. You're actually going to be competing with stuff like the Delta Point Pro, and that's pretty amazing for an optic of this price range and for this quality, because you're going to be rocking a lot more variables that you can see, a lot more things you can engage on, just because you can see through your optic. And it sounds funny, but the more you can see, the more you can shoot. So that's usually one of the best parts about that.
And we're not going to say price, but it is currently it's a sub $100 price point on this F12. So I think it's one of the best red dots on the market for the money.
And arguably, like I shoot a lot of Trijicon RMRs on almost all my guns and SROs, and this optic is one of the few times where I've actually picked something up and said, wow, I really like this. It definitely hits a lot of parameters for me as a shooter. The open emitter type style of red dots are some of my favorite ones. You do run into the need to make sure you're not letting water and stuff get into your optic, but you can clean it a lot easier, which is something I like, especially on a bigger window. You're not trying to stick your finger in the Trijicon, and if you got fat fingers like some shooters, you're going to not get stuck in there.
Yeah, we hit on it. It is a waterproof optic. That is one of the bullet points we were talking about. On the bottom of this, we don't have an open one because we installed them both on the guns. It is all sealed silicone on the bottom, keeps it to protect the electronics. So if you're shooting, training out in the snow, the rain, we're going to do a test where we actually have it in a glass of water for 24 hours and see if we'll pull it out and work. So stay tuned for that one when we do that video. We're going to time lapse that one, but they're claiming it to be waterproof. I actually really like it. The window on it's great. I got our first sample. A friend of ours went out, tested it, sighted it in. I got it after we did some photos with it. After that, it held 0, just great. It literally synced right up on the RMR plate. And
yeah, and having a 2 MOA dot is also something that is really awesome for this price point. It definitely gives you a lot more precise shooting that you can be able to hit. It's going to get you zero in a little bit further past that 25 to 50 yard range, which is my personal standard for how pistol optics should do. You should be able to adjust and hit those targets at those different ranges comfortably. And that's something where you don't see a lot of these different products that are out there that they can't make that claim. And that's one of the things that the F12 I think does great.
Well, one of the things with the smaller dots like the 2 MOA is when you're outside and it's bright sunlight, sometimes they disappear. And I didn't have a problem with this one disappearing. It wasn't haloing. It actually was like super crisp and stayed on point. It was a really bright day, outdoor range in the summer, and it functioned great. And I have terrible eyesight, so sometimes those smaller dots, you can make an age joke if you want. I know it's probably true, but
we don't believe in ageism here, just bracism.
Yeah.
So,
but I didn't lose the dot. It didn't disappear on me. It wasn't wandering. It was super easy to find, and it worked great.
This comes with a Picatinny mount, so you can run this at a 45-degree mount. So if you're, like Jordan was saying, if you're outside shooting, you're LPVO, and you're being the cool guy, and you're transitioning to a closer range target, the F12 is perfect for that. Having a large, clear window and that small Picatinny dot, you're going to be able to find it. It's going to be able to transition into more of that close range CQB stuff. And that's one of my favorite things when optics come with a mount already ready for it, instead of having to pay extra $100, $200 for some of those extra RMR plates on the side.
And one of the things, like, I used to work a lot of gun shows, and muzzleloader guys, at least here in the state of Utah, they could use non-magnified red dots. I don't know if that's still the case. I don't hunt muzzleloader, but they bought a ton of these open emitters from us, and this one holds up to the recoil. Even if you're not looking to run it on a 45 on, I mean, I wouldn't make it my primary on a rifle unless it was, you know, a shotgun or a muzzle loader, but it would definitely work for that. And the price point, it's like, what do you have to lose?
Yeah, exactly. And even for that price point, you're still getting some awesome packaging that's going to come along with the F12. One of my favorite things is having all these boxes kind of stack up to your house and different things like that. On the inside, you've got these awesome tools, and I just want to point this out that I don't know if they were intending to make my favorite aftermarket tool for Glock stuff or if they just accidentally did it, but it comes with these little adjustable retention screw things,
awesome.
and it's just awesome. It looks like it takes standard drill bits. I haven't done too much experimenting on that, but it comes with a flathead and a...
It does look like they would take a standard bit, though.
It does look like it, and honestly, this is probably one of my favorite tools that I've ever had, and it comes with that. Along with that, you've got shockproof packaging, so you know if this gets shipped out to you, or if you need to store it and you're traveling somewhere, it's not going to break on you, it's not going to crack. What else comes in?
Comes with the extra battery, and it's the CR 1632, available all over the place.
Everywhere, Walmart, gas station, other guns.
And it definitely comes with a variety of mounting screws, so depending on what thread pitch your
if you're
your
using
slide
a
is.
dedicated RMR slide, if you're using an adapter plate, you know, whatever you're going to be using, it's going to come with a lot of different options and variations for you to secure that optic. But one of my favorite things about the F12 is the actual way to change the battery. Unlike, say, the Trijicon RMR, you're not going to have to remove the optic to change out the battery. And that, for me, is a huge thing.
I have a SIG optic, and it's so annoying. You lose your zero.
Yeah, it's really easy. You just never zero your guns, and you don't have to worry about that. So just blindly firing.
But yeah, this one is right here on the top. You just literally just unscrews and throw your battery in. You don't need to change it that often, though, because the battery life on these is...
It's a little bit. It's only, what, 10,000 hours?
Yeah, they're claiming at least 10,000 hours.
At least 10,000 hours. And that's amazing for any battery life on any optic. One of my favorite things, too, about this is that if it's got a shake-to-wake feature. So, you know, you put it in your safe for a couple weeks, you're not going to be worrying about your battery just being on, turned on, and dying on you. It's going to be there. So as soon as you pick it up, it's ready to go, but you're not killing your battery.
No.
That's one of my favorite things.
One of the things I like about it, too, is the ability to co-witness. You do want to use suppressor height sights. So these have taller iron sights on them. We sell those, too, which... I'm going to give a plug. You can get this directly from our site. You can get it in, we have a bunch of complete slides with the F12 on it. So if you want that, you can get it in this package, or we have the slide, just the strip slide optic combos too. So if you have an existing Glock and you want to just slap a slide on it that's optic ready, it's like, oh, I have a Glock, but it's not optic cut. You can just get a strip slide from us and throw your parts in it and you're good to go.
And that's one of the best parts, too, is that you get to pick out exactly what you want. You're not just being limited to our black options, but as you can see here, we got some gold, some gray. We also have a large variations of different colors, and we're always bringing in new things and putting out fresh stuff for you guys as well. So make sure you do check out our inventory because it's always adapting all the time.
Yeah. One of the nicer features on this one is sometimes you get these. I have an optic right now that I'm in the market to get rid of, and I hate the buttons on it. These ones... they feel awesome. It's adjustable brightness up and down. So if you're shooting indoors, you can definitely dim down the brightness. If you're outside on a bright summer day, it's nice to be able to turn up the brightness.
And I don't know if you can hear that, but the buttons on there are super tactile. And that's a big thing for me, because if you know, RMRs and SROs, different styles like that, you can push that button, you can see the visible brightness changing, but you start getting to those lower and higher settings and you're not feeling yourself changing. On this handgun, you feel that tactile push, you can hear it every single time. And the same thing with the windage knobs. You're gonna be hearing that nice firm click as you're confirming all that. And that's one of my big pet peeves, is when I can't tell if I'm actually adjusting something or doing something.
It's obnoxious.
It's obnoxious, especially if you're like me and I'm constantly just cranking them one way or the other, not knowing exactly what I'm doing, but figuring it out. It sounds like I'm actually accomplishing something with those windage knobs.
Let's see if they can hear it.
Some button ASMR for you there.
One of the questions I get asked a lot, worked a ton of gun shows. So you get every question imaginable when you're at the gun shows. You can adjust the windage and elevation on this one. It's super easy. It comes with the tool for it. It's just a flathead screwdriver. Adjustments here and here. Super easy, and they also feel very tactile. Like it's an audible click. You can feel it clicking. So it's like, ooh, how far did I turn that? Did it actually turn? It's, you know, it's definitely noticeable as you're turning that. That pretty much concludes everything on this F12. That actually went a lot quicker than what I thought it was going to be with how many points we had written down. But yeah, definitely check it out. The Northtac Ronin F12. We'll have links down below. Because of YouTube's guidelines, we can't send you directly to the website. So we'll have a form that you can fill out. You put your information in there. We'll send you the information on the F12. We'll link up to some of the slides with those and everything as well. So to make it really easy for you to navigate. We're also doing giveaways all the time. So definitely enter the giveaways below. Subscribe, like the video, follow us on the social medias. We're on all the major platforms. And thank you for checking us out, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Bullet Points.